a journalist or being a director?
Very good producers, because besides the logistics and budget and all of that, it is a lot about managing people. And I think women are naturally very good at finding that balance, keeping people happy and, nurturing, understanding their needs. If a star is throwing a tantrum, you hear him out, but at the same time put the boundaries in place,
The idea that women can multitask better or are naturally more akin to nurturing, in my book anyway, is actually socially ingrained. It's not an actuality, because I know there's plenty of women who have a lot of trouble nurturing and multitasking and all that. And on the flip side, it actually actively discourages men who might want to nurture, and they're made to feel like they have to take a lead position, they have to be breadwinners, all this sort of stuff.
Like, we were laughing because I was actually responding to emails and breastfeeding at the same time, so because when you're a small business, there are some things that only you have to do, and there is no choice. But everyone's perception, especially a lot of the studio heads in India and a lot of people here, it's always like, will you be able to deliver? Are you still able to do your job? But my husband, who's actually the one who took time off work to stay at home and look after my daughter, nobody ever asks him that.
First of all, if you want to work in the industry, you might want to end up in Hollywood, but your first breaks are going to be in the film and TV industry in Australia. You have to watch, whether you like it or not, Australian content.
But where I think that there's a real Australian tendency to see the white middle-class male voice as the socially neutral voice, and all the rest of us contain bias or
so everything else is political.
Yeah. So the actual politicisation of continually having Indigenous stories told by white middle class men, or stories about Aboriginal women and the sorts of struggles, unless they're actually written by someone who is outside of that, and usually, where you've got the Aboriginal woman who is very, very poor, obviously the flip side of that is a wealthy white man. So that view's seen as neutral, despite the fact that it's actually soaked in privilege.
For example, in Australian film and TV, there's two things that I'm really big on at the moment, is scripts with violence against women. We're actually just banning them now, unless the violence gives some insight into the issue. Because we kept having these scripts coming up where there was there was violence against women for entertainment purposes, for plot purposes. And we all realised that we're so used to that we kind of, it's just incredibly thoughtless. So we thought, no, we're just banning it. Unless there's a really good idea, it's not happening. So think about that with your scripts. How women are portrayed in your scripts. Given that we're 50% of the population, we're not given 50% of the space and 50% of the storytelling roles, or storytelling, even the recipient role as the audience. We're not regarded as a legitimate 50% of the audience either.
Yeah. But you will not know who's going to support you till you put yourself out there. So that's what I'm saying. Even if you think, oh, nobody's going to make a film, this is not like maths or science that it's black and white, it's right and wrong. It's very subjective. So everybody's looking at films and journalism and media from their point of view. So I think that is a big part of the problem.
Carving out those spaces and trying to create more opportunity for women, in a time where we can actually take to the internet and we can start to diversify in ways that have never, didn't exist.
I really encourage all of you with your storytelling, film students, and even journalists, don't talk to someone on the basis of their ethnicity. Don't cast someone on the basis of their ethnicity. Cast them because they're really good actors.
Make the film. Put it out there. You don't need a distributor. Put it on YouTube. You don't need an advertiser. Advertise it on Facebook. Don't let anything stop you. To not corporate looking at all. Like my husband, when I used to go for job interviews, he used to tell me, try and keep it under 5 colours, because I used to go looking like a rainbow.
Looking like an Indian woman.
Yes, with all my hair flying and big earrings, and everybody's in their black suits. But the thing is, but I didn't want to leave the industry. I didn't want to do, because I love making films, I love I love the energy on a set. I didn't want to leave it. So for me, it was like, my first job was clearing tables at Crown. And I still remember there was a lady at Pokies who was just saying, and I cleared her table, and she was like, "Where are you from, dear?" So I said, "I'm from India." So and she made some comment about where I learned English, which was very common at that time. And then she said, "Oh, what did you do in India?" So I said, "I was a film director." She said, "I'm sure you were, dear." But I never gave up. Not for a second did I think that, okay, let me apply. And I was happy to clear tables and keep applying. It's a constant battle.